I'll share my screen. Okay, so let's talk about today's agenda. The first thing we will see, we will make a mini Python script or mini Python project, I would rather call, to demonstrate agentic AI orchestration. This we will first make with the help of Gradio. Then we will have Menti quiz and Menti quiz. This will be the Menti code to join that quiz. And then the same thing, what we will demonstrate above, we will demonstrate it using Streamlit. Streamlit is another library to do quick UI prototyping along with Gradio. And then in an interesting session, workshop, motivation workshop. And this motivation workshop is to discuss silence before success. And I need some of the volunteers for this workshop. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So let's get started. Okay. Now, in order to create the projects or workspaces, what I will do, I will first of all, I will create a folder. Okay, I'll write down the steps also, step by step, to create Python workspace. Steps to create Python workspace. Okay. First of all, create a folder in at any location. Okay, so let's create a first of all, let's create a folder. Let's name it as Jan cohort and Python workspace, something like this. Okay, and instead of that, let's use the kebab casing, Jan cohort Python workspace. Okay, now I'll open this folder that I have created, and before that, you have to either install, you can either install Visual Studio Code or PyCharm. So PyCharm, I have taken example in most of the hands-on session that I was giving you. So let's take the example of VS Code. So VS Code, you have to go to the VS Code official website and download it from there. And then what you do once the VS Code is installed, you go to the workspace that you have created, newly created workspace. Let's take an example of VS Code. So what you have to do, go inside the newly created workspace. Then what do you have to do? Open command prompt from breadcrumb by typing cmd and then type code and space dot. Okay, what I mean is that so you have to just click on this breadcrumb and let the whole address be selected, and you just have to type cmd. You have to click enter, and it will open the command prompt in the current directory. Now, what do you have to do? Let's say VS Code is installed in your system, and you have to open the VS Code at this particular location, or VS Code you have to open considering that Jan cohort Python workspace as your root workspace. So what do you have to do? You have to just type code space and then dot. So once you do that, it will open VS Code. Click yes, I trust the authors, and you can see here The directory is showing at the above. Now, what do you have to do? This is your workspace. You can click on this icon. So we are just creating small Python projects and small scripts. So for that, you just have to create a new file. You can click here, new file, name it as uh, gradio underscore demo dot py file. Okay. So we have named this file as gradio demo. Now what next we have to do? You can close this out. I'm just writing out these steps here. So it will open the VS Code. Now next step is basically create a new file, example gradio underscore demo dot py. Okay. And now before you move forward, create virtual environment, Python virtual environment, and activate it. Okay. So what you have to do if you want to create Python virtual environment, I have the steps written here. I will just copy paste the same steps. So you have to type this particular command, create the virtual step, virtual environment using this command. And why we are doing that, I'll just let you know in a while. And you have to activate using these commands. For Windows, this is the command. For Unix, this is the command. Okay. And let's do that. Yeah, someone is asking something. Okay, that's fine. Now, what we have to do, uh, so we have opened VS Code. We have created one gradio demo.py file. Now you have to open terminal and click on new terminal. Now you can see here, my machine is window-based machine. You can see PS written over here, right? Which is PowerShell. Now instead of PowerShell, we will, open the normal shell. For that, you have to type CMD. And now you can see from PowerShell, it has came into the our usual, shell mode that we used to do. Now here, first step, what we have to do at this particular stage, we have to create Python virtual environment, right? So Python virtual environment is using this you can create. So once you will do that, once you will run this command, you can see at this level, you will see one folder with the name venv will be created. Okay. So let's do that and see how it whether it do that or not. See, it has created this venv. Now, what is the basic use of venv? So basically, you have created Python virtual environment. So Python related libraries and dependency will basically uh, be available within your workspace, right? So any pip command, pip install command that you will run, every library will be installed within this venv folder. Otherwise, without creating Python virtual environment, if you will, run pip install command, so uh, it will create the libraries and store under the program files, right? But you want full control over the project or framework that you are making. So for that, what you have to do, the best practice is to create the Python virtual environment first, then activate it. And once you activate it, so everything Python related thing that you will do will happen or will persist within this particular folder, venv folder. So this step, we have created the Python, what do you say, virtual environment with the name venv. Now I have a window machine, so I have to activate this Python environment, right? I'll run this command and it has activated the Python virtual environment. How you can verify it is from something like, you can see this venv as prefixed, before the full path of your project. Before that, without activating, when it was not activated, there is no venv there, right? Once you activate it, you will start seeing venv, which says that Python virtual environment is activated. So if we'll expand this folder, you can see two folders. First is uh, lib folder, and second is a script folder. So anything you can see is Python exe, pip exe, every executive files, stays within a script folder. And if you will install, let's say if you'll do pip install gradio, then gradio executables and streamlit executables will sit under this script folder. So let's run the pip command to install gradio. So let me write down this, installing third party libraries. So pip install gradio or pip install streamlit. Let's Let's install both these libraries. Pip install gradio. So as I am in virtual environment, it will install gradio related dependency within this venv folder. If we would not be inside the virtual environment, it would have installed in the program directory, your program files. See, there are many related dependent libraries also, installed when we have installed gradio, and you can see gradio somewhere. Okay, it's installing as of now, right now. So it'll take some time. Let it get completed. Okay, so it has installed gradio. So in under scripts, you can see gradio.exe got installed, right? And similarly, so these are script related files of gradio. Under library, under site packages, you can see gradio is installed here. All the libraries related to gradio got installed here, right? Similarly, we can install, streamlit also. So I'll install it later on. First, let's write the code using gradio. So we have installed pip install gradio. Now, uh, code map. Let's write the code map. What we are going to do today, right? Code map. So as part of writing today's code, first thing is write code for application layer. Application layer means UI, right? Write code for memory, mock memory. So we will be mocking the data here. We will not use, so the main intention is to show you how the orchestration works, right? So we will mock all the things here. Write code for mock memory, write code for mock tools, and write code for AI agent to orchestrate everything. Okay. So this is the high level thing that we are going to do. Let me just clean this and style it properly. Okay. And this is the code map. Okay. Fine. So let's write these codes one by one. And let's write down, first of all, write code for application layer. That is what we are writing for now. Now, when we want to install gradio, when we have installed gradio and we want to use gradio, so first of all, first command will be to import gradio libraries, right? So I'll be importing gradio, whole gradio as gr, and now I'll write down the code to create a demo application, UI application. So for that, what I will do, I will create one variable demo equal to gradio gr dot interface is the method which will be used to create. Now what we can do inside it, First of all, I will create fn. So fn basically denotes the function that gradio will run when user gives input and submit. So this function is something which we will create. So agent is the function which I will create later on. I'll just write down other stuff first. Input. Inputs is basically, you can see here. So this is what we are trying to achieve, this application, this UI application. So input may, this will serve as an input, right? So this is a text box, first thing. And this is a placeholder text or the label of this particular input box. So we will be creating this now. So for that, what we will do, inputs equal to gr dot what we want to create. We want to create text box. So gr dot text box. And remember here, text box may b is small, not capital. So this is not upper camel casing we are doing. It's a continuation, right? So we are creating the text box. Label is something that we have to write. So label is ask something, try, calculate. This is something which we want to write, right? So ask something, try, calculate 2 plus 2, sales data, general question. Okay. Journal question label we have given. This. Okay, this is there, this is there, and comma. Okay, this is what we have defined as input. Now we will define output, means the output box. So output box will be this thing, right? Output box where the output will be displayed. So this is also a text box, and label is agent output that we want to keep. Now, so what we will do, outputs equal to, again, this is a text box. So we will write text box, and label is what we want to write, agent output. Okay, so label equal to agent output we are writing. Okay. Okay. Now next thing is title. We want to give title. So title is this particular thing we want to write. What is displayed over here? Agentic AI demo orchestration in action. Okay. So that's what we are writing. Agentic AI demo orchestration in action. Okay. That we have written down as part of title. Next thing is description. So these are some of the bare minimum thing that we want to write, and description will be this particular part that is getting displayed here. Demonstrate prompting, tool routing, memory, and reflection. Demonstrate prompting, tool routing, memory, and reflection. Memory and reflection. Okay. So this we have created a simple, interface, gradio interface. Now, function we have to create. So let's create, first of all, let me create a dummy function so that I can show you how the gradio UI will look once I will launch this. यहाँ पे I will pass as query and return AI agent activated. This is the bare minimum thing that I'm doing. And now, I mean, I will write down the logic to do the orchestration, but we just want to see whether we are able to launch the gradio application or not. Okay. So to launch gradio application, what we have to do? Okay. How to launch app? So for gradio, what we have to do? We have to run Python -m and the name of the file. What is the name of the file? Gradio demo. Gradio underscore demo. That's what. That's it. So we don't have to give gradio demo.py. Without py we have to give. So let's try to run Python -m. And you have to give the full path of the file. So my file is in current directory, so that is why I'm directly writing down the name gradio underscore demo. If it is inside the folder, let's say folder 1, then I would have written folder 1 dot gradio underscore demo. So gradio underscore demo, if I'll write and run this command, it should launch the gradio application. It will spawn the gradio instance on the local host. Let's see whether it works or not. Okay. So what happens sometimes? Okay, before that, I have to write demo.launch. Without it, I will not be able to launch it. Now let's try to run this command again. Okay, so you can see this output displaying here, right? That your application has been hosted at this particular URL. So let's launch this URL. You can see this, whatever we have given, whatever basic thing that we have created, it is, it got created here. Now this clear button, submit button, and flag button are uh, default buttons created by Gradio under the hood or in the background. So these three buttons will anyways created by Gradio library. Rest other thing, we have written the code to create a basic UI. So this is the basic UI that we have created. Now, next thing, what we have to implement. So application layer we have implemented. Now we have to, mock the memory. So for mocking the memory, what we will do, I will write mock memory, and now memory, to mock memory, I will take one memory variable, and let me write down some of the question. What is quantum computing? What is AI? Calculate 2 plus 5, something like this, right? Now, what we are basically demonstrating, one second. Yeah, so what we are basically demonstrating here, so we are mocking a memory. Memory is a variable, which is a list of questions that user had asked in past. So currently, memory is basically right now, okay, so right now, memory is history of users' questions. It can be anything, right? It depends on your use case. It can be either just the user questions, it can be the combination of user question and the LLM generated output, or it can be anything. But right now, in this case, we have taken memory uh, as history of users question. But in ideal condition, it should become decision helper. It should become decision helper. So to know the context about user, the memory is used, right? So you can use memory in order to make the real-time decisions for your application. So here we have just mocked the memory just to show you how the memory works and how we can orchestrate the memory and how we can orchestrate different tools altogether. Yeah. So this is about mocking the memory. Now let's mock tools. Let's mock tools. So tool number one. So tool number one, we will create calculator tool. Calculator tool. So what we will do, we will create one def calculator tool, and that will be passed on with the user query. So what we will do, we'll write down the code in try except block. So here result, what we are doing. So the user, we are expecting user to give the query as calculate something like that, right? So we will write down the logic. First of all, we'll use the eval function. And when we are using eval function, what we are doing, user query dot replace, and we are replacing calculate with just empty string. And then after replacing, I'm stripping out the white spaces, something like this. So what it is doing, and यहाँ पे return f calculator result as result. Okay, I'm using the f string. Now what we are doing here, okay, expect block also, except block, return could not calculate. Okay. Okay, what we are doing here is that we are first of all using a f string here. This part, what we are doing. So the user, we are expecting user to give query in something like this, calculate query, calculate 3 plus 4. So eval function, what it will do, it will evaluate mathematical expression given in string, right? Given in string format. That's what eval function do. Now, in order to extract out the string, a mathematical expression from this string, first of all, I have to eliminate this word calculate, right? And then if there are some white spaces, then I have to strip out those white spaces. Now, in order to eliminate this calculate word, what I am doing from the query, I am just replacing this calculate word with empty string, right? You can see here, empty string I am replacing. So it will evacuate this word calculate, and rest white spaces I am stripping. So the final expression that eval function will get in this line will be eval 3 plus 4, something like this. And it will then do the evaluation of that string, and it will provide the result as 7. Okay, so that's what we are trying to do here. And we have created a small tool. So this is our calculator tool. Now let's create another tool, second tool. Second tool is database tool, right? Database tool to find out some of the insights. So I will create def. Okay, database tool query, and then we are basically mocking out the response. Now, what we are doing here? Okay, in real time scenario, so here we are just mocking the responses and mocking the behavior within the function. But in real time, this logic and this logic will be different. यहाँ पे तो we have just provided the hard coded values. In real time, okay, calculator tool will be like this only. But we can basically try to incorporate more patterns. So for now, we have just considered that user is using the query calculate. But there are many ways in which user can pass on the query, right? Calculate query, calculate, or do the sum, do multiply. So those logic we can implement here. But just for the demo purpose, we have just taken this one particular case only. Database tool, we have just returned a normal string, database result sales, something like this. But in reality, what it will do, in reality, it will just, first of all, make the connection to the database. It will create the input query. Then it will, hit the query into that database. It will fetch the result, the JSON file in the result in the JSON format. From that JSON, it will extract out the important insights. And then those extracted insight, it will formulate the final response to return it to user. So that is something that you can implement in real time use case that you will implement. But here, we have just returned a mocked response, a mocked string, right? That database tool is basically being called, and this is what the insights are. Okay. So we have mocked database tool also. Now, third tool that we want to mock is LLM tool. So LLM tool is something which will basically make the LLM call, and it will return, let's say it will just return, let's return f string, right? F LLM Okay, that's it. Where it is returning. But if you would be implementing this tool in real time, what you will do, you will first you will write the logic to make the connect. You will write the logic to first select the model, then making connection to that particular model and version, and then taking the user query, hitting the, for example, you are using OpenAI APIs here, so you will write the logic to hit the OpenAI APIs with the user query, and then you will capture the response returned by those OpenAI APIs, and then you will return that response to user. So in actual use case, this is how it should work. But here we want to just demonstrate. So we are just returning a plain, string here just to demonstrate how the LLM tool is being called and what it is returning. Okay. So we have mocked three tools here. And now, okay, so what we have done so far, let's see that. This is the one part. This is the second part. So what we have done, we have implemented the memory context part. We have implemented tools. Now what we will do, we will create AI agent, which will do orchestration. So orchestration mean it will, take memory context in consideration. It will do the proper tool calling under the hood, and it will return the result to the users. So this is what we will implement now, AI agent. Okay. For that, we have already created this method function. So agent, AI agent orchestration logic. So what we will do here, we will write, simple logic, which says that if query has the word calculate, then return calculator tool query. Okay. Instead of return, what we will write response. We will just capture the response first. Response equal to calculator tool, and it will catch the response. And there is one more variable which I want to keep. So step something like this. Now, anyone can any one of you tell me what is the use of this thing that we are using, the use of the variable step? Why we are doing that? What is that that we are implementing here? Anyone? Deepak, Raj, Sunny, anyone? I'm not able to hear. Raj, I think you are on mute, but not able.
To store it in memory.
No, so there are three things that we have discussed, right? Monitoring, observability, and explainability. So this is the explainability part. So explainability part is basically that explains how the model has answered your query, or how did it end up in this particular answer. So this is the explainability part which we want to implement. Observability you can implement if you will log each and every step. So you can use some logger APIs or logger libraries in Python, and if you will do normal logging, you know that will be log.debug, log.info, that will come as part of observability. Monitoring is something, if let's say we will take this framework, we will implement it using langsmith. So langsmith is one of the tool which is used for observability and monitoring. So if we will use langsmith, so then there we will basically implement monitoring aspect. So for now, observability, I am not implementing. That is something which is very common, implementing logs in your code so that you can implement. This is, explicitly I want to implement because I want to show you how we can implement the explainability. So similarly, what we are basically doing here is we have captured the response and we have captured the step also, the explainability step. Now what we have done, so we have just use a very simple logic. If user will, input the query something with the prefix with calculate or having the word calculate, so it will, call the calculator tool. If user basically write down the query which have word sales or inquiry or data in query. If the user uses this word sales or data in the query, then the database tool will be called. Else, for any other journal questions, the LLM tool will be called. Also, we can, sharpen this logic or clean this logic, because see, user can ask either in small, right? Calculate. User can also ask like this also, calculate. User can also ask like this, calculate. So what we can do here, so this query which we are using here, we can first make it to lowercase and then we can implement the logic. So everywhere we can implement the logic. So similarly, yeah. Okay, yeah. So that this is what we have. Uh, Simple routing logic we have created. Simple routing logic for the tool, right? So this is the tooling, how it will happen. Now, let's implement reflection pattern. So the reflection pattern is implement reflection pattern. Mock reflection we will implement. So reflection pattern means what it says is that if the LLM produces weak or short answer, then add more details into the response. That's what reflection pattern means. So retry if the response is weak. Simple reflection. So for that, what we will do, if length of the response is less than 30 characters, in that case, what you will do, what we will do here, we will just concatenate the response variable uh, with this particular text. Okay. So this we have done, and then after that, steps also we will, I mean the explainability step also we will concatenate properly. So for that step, oh, 1 second, yeah, this is creating mess. Step plus equal to reflection applied explainability. That's how we have basically applied the reflection pattern. And reflection pattern, why we are doing that? It is to retry if response is weak. Okay. So we have applied memory, we have applied tooling, and we have applied reflection pattern. Now next step is, let's update the memory. Okay, update memory means, so memory that we have stored here, this is a list, right? So okay, before, okay, 1 second. Okay. Okay, before that, I think I have forgot one step. I think I have forgot that step inside here. So I have to take consideration. I have to, consider the memory here in the AI agent orchestration, right? For that, let me create a global variable memory, which can be, so global means it can be used anywhere within this script. And here I will extract the context from memory. Okay, so how will I extract the context? So I will write context, and let's say, okay, let's say last two, and I will write down logic if memory, else no interaction. Okay, so what I'm doing here, this join function I'm using, join method. I'm using join method on list. So join method, what it will do? So join method joins the elements of list and provide the final result as string. So what I am doing, I am joining all the elements of the memory list using this pipe function. So whatever responses are there, whatever elements are there in that list, it will be joined by this pipe function. So I have, kept some of the elements, right? What's quantum computing? Then I am joining it with another question that user have had asked, calculate 2 plus 3, something like that. It will join. And what -2 I am taking? -2 means it will basically join the last two, elements in the list. So what's AI? So here currently my list has 3 elements, 1, 2, sorry, 4, 3, 4. Okay. So -2 means the index, this is negative indexing, -1, -2, -3, -4. So I have given that -2 and empty I have given, right? And slicing, list slicing, we have learned that -2 and then like this, if we are giving, then consider these two last two elements in the list. So we don't want to keep all the memory as a context. We just want to keep last two questions asked by the user. So that is why we have given this -2 like this. And it is telling if memory means if there are elements in this list, memory, the name of the list is memory. If there are the elements in the list, extract out the last two, elements of that list. Otherwise, provide this message that there is no previous interactions. Okay, like this. So we have extracted the context from the memory. We have created the simple routing logic. We have implemented the reflection pattern, something like that. Now, next step is to update the memory because we are, running this AI agent on, dynamically. So we will do memory.append query. So it will append the user query again and again. So if I'll refresh, if I'll run my application once, I will ask one question, then I'll ask another question. So all the questions that I'm asking in my current session will be updated into this memory, and this particular thing will be changed dynamically. I'll show you what I mean to say here. Okay, so we are updating memory here. Now, final step, return response with explainability to user. So return F string I'll create triple quote so that I can create my response in multiple lines. Okay, first thing what I want to, steps involved, explainability. Okay, this I want to create. So यहाँ पे this will be step I will write, and then history of users queries. How many queries? Last two queries, last two interaction. So this is context. And यहाँ पे response I will write final answer. Final answer is the response like this. Okay. So I think we have created the code, whole code. And if anyone has any doubt, please ask. So before running this code, I will answer all your doubts and then we will run the code and see how it works. Any doubt from anyone? Okay, I'll take it as a no. Okay, so let me start this. Uh,
Um,
yeah.
Abhinav, can you just like explain? Just I'm trying to connect each and every steps.
Hmm.
So can you just explain like how they are
Okay.
connected each other?
Okay. So first of all, you have written down the gradio code. So this gradio code is something that represent application layer, right? Now, gradio code has some function which it will call under the hood, right? We have seen that fn equal to agent we have given, right? So whenever user enters something, there should be some function that gets called under the background. So that function we have written, and that function we have written, which will be called when the user hit submit button by writing down the query. And that function is known as, that we have defined as agent, and we have passed query inside it, right? Like this. Now, this function will have the logic to first, there are different logic, right? Consider past memory, right? Uh, Tool routing logic, correct? Then
So can I think it is as a like ChatGPT or something?
no, not ChatGPT. I'll tell you 1 second. Reflection logic implementation I'm doing, and then creating final response. I'll answer that question. First, I'm connecting the dots here. What is happening? Okay, so this agent is doing orchestration, right? AI agent, agentic AI system में agentic AI is system which basically do orchestration. How many layers we have studied? Infrastructure layer, model layer, orchestration layer, application layer, right? So this is the orchestration layer we have created, and this is the application layer. Okay. Infrastructure layer not needed when we have to implement this on cloud or somewhere else, then it is required. Here currently infrastructure is localhost, because gradio is spawning your application on localhost, so infrastructure you can think as a localhost. Model layer also we haven't implemented yet currently, because we haven't implemented the LLM code as of now. So the intention of this code is to show you how the orchestration happens, how the AI agent that you are writing will do the tool routing, and how you will implement the orchestration within your agent that you are creating, right? So that is the main aim. Now, there in tool routing logic, there is one of the tool, if you remember, right? LLM tool. LLM tool. So currently LLM tool mein what we are doing, so LLM tool mein we are just returning the response that LLM tool is called blah blah blah, right? But actually when you would implement LLM tool, what you will do there, you will first use OpenAI APIs. So you will use OpenAI APIs. OpenAI APIs is something that is used under the hood in ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is using OpenAI APIs. ठीक है? Anthropic models are using Claude APIs, right? So these are different models. So let's say we have decided to use OpenAI APIs. So we will use OpenAI APIs, Python APIs. We will use these Python APIs to hit the query to OpenAI models. So when I'm talking about OpenAI models, so it is GPT-4 or GPT-5, those are the models, right? So we can select those model also in our code, but I haven't written down that code for on purpose as of now. But that's something that will happen under the hood when you will implement your logic. Then you will collect the response returned, and then you will share the response to user. So when you will do these things step by step, it is like ChatGPT in that case, right? Because ChatGPT also under the hood is using OpenAI APIs, which is trained on worldly data. And if you will use OpenAI APIs, so you are using OpenAI APIs, and you are building one application on top of it, wrapper on top of it, which is just passing the user query, hitting the OpenAI APIs, and returning the response. So that is known as chatbot. Now, in order to convert that, so we have a workshop in the last session, right? In order to convert chatbot into AI agent, what we have to do? So chatbot we will create, plus we will implement memory, plus tool calling. So if we will implement these things, chatbot plus memory plus tool calling, then it will qualify to be called as AI agent, right? In the last workshop we have seen. So that's what we are doing here. So we have, so chatbot we haven't created, so we are just mocking the things here, but we have implemented the memory and we have implemented the tool calling. So that's why whatever code we are writing down is something which qualifies for AI agent. Okay. So this is how, this is the overall, picture of this mini project that we have created. Now, let me run this. Let's see how it works. So I am running it. So it started running on 7860. So I just have to refresh this. Now let's ask some question. Calculate 2 plus 2 or something 2 plus 89. Okay. If I'll click submit, so you can see here the response got generated here, right? Final answer calculated, calculator result 91. Reflection is applied because it is less than 30 character. Okay, that we have implemented. Steps involved, explainability is coming here. Used calculator tool, reflection applied. History of user query, last two interactions. So last two interactions, what are the last two? Let's go to the list. Last two interaction are these, right? Calculate 2 plus 5 and what's AI. These are the last two interaction which it is displaying. Now let's again put some query. Show me sales data. So as soon as I will hit this query, show me sales data, you can see this last two interaction will get changed. It will become what's AI and the last query that we have put, calculate 2 plus 79, something we have put, right? Let's see that. Submit. See the query, the memory is getting appended every time. Calculate 2 plus 89 and sale data, it has, given the sales data. Now let's put one more question. What is the depth of specific question? This is a journal question, so LLM tool should be called. So when I'm submitting it, you can see explainability me it is giving used LLM tool, and last two interaction me you can see calculate 2 plus 89 and show me sales data. So that's how dynamically the memory gets appended, and that's how we are showing the history of user's query to the user. Okay, so this is how we have orchestrated a simple agentic AI agent using the concepts that we have learned. Okay. So yeah, this was the quick demonstration of this using what? Using gradio.
Now I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Now we have written the hard-coded if conditions. Now
Yes.
in reality, I
So
don't want to
yeah, in
write in hard. Yeah,
reality, yeah. So in reality, you will be using either of the available frameworks like Crew AI, AutoGen, LangGraph. So they have inbuilt capability of using the tools. So there you will, what you will write, you will create your own tool using @ tool annotations.
okay,
And internally, your framework, Crew AI or AutoGen, whatever you want to use, they will, take care of calling, making the
necessary tool
selection
call.
necessary, yeah, tool selection by itself. So this is very crude way in which I want to show you. But in actual, use cases, you will be either using, Crew AI or any of the multi-orchestration framework available, right? So they have the capability to, automatically handle those tool calling.
Got it.
Okay, so yeah, so this is something we have done. Now I would request you to please open your menti.com, and this is the code for today. You can, put this code. After this quiz, we will take a short break and then we will convert the same code using streamlit. And then this is something which I would say, every one of you to attend this. It's a unique creative workshop that I have created to motivate you guys. So okay, let's go to the Menti, and okay, this is the code that you have to enter: 78318244. I can see 2 players are ready, so I'll wait for some more time. So please open menti.com on your mobile and you can enter this code, whatever is shown on the screen. I can see 4 players are ready. 5 players are ready. 6 players are ready. Awesome. Okay, I think we have pretty much good set of players to start with. So I am starting my quiz, today's quiz. Okay, here comes the first question on your screen. What is gradio mainly used for? Building mobile apps, creating APIs, creating web UI and ML models, or data visualization? Everyone has voted. Okay, so the correct answer is creating web UI and ML models. So 3 people have answered it correctly. Let's go to the leaderboard and see who is leading the charts. Sunny, Supriya, and Deepak had answered it correctly. Sunny had answered fastest. Okay, nice. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, so 6 players are ready. Here comes the question number 2. Which function is used to create a basic gradio app? gr.build, gr.interface, gr.app, gr.create. Everyone has voted. The correct answer is gr.interface. 4 people have answered it correctly. Let's go to the leaderboard and see the charts, how the leaderboard is looking. Raj had answered it fastest. Supriya is leading the chart. Deepak is second. Raj is third. Okay, let's go to the next question. Question number 3. Here it comes on your screen. Okay, which of the following is a valid gradio input component? I think I have explicitly mentioned when I was giving demo on that. So people who are able to recollect that particular reference will answer it correctly. The correct option is second option, gr.text box. Everything B in small letters, not in camel casing. So 3 people have answered it correctly. Let's go to the leaderboard and see how the, okay. So Priya, Raj and Meghna had answered it correctly. Okay. Nice. Let's go to the next slide, which is question number 4. Here it comes on your screen. Some Python revision now. What's the output of this printf statement? Very simple, right? The correct, okay, people are still voting. Okay, the correct answer is T. We are doing the negative slicing here. 5 people have answered it correctly. Let's go to the leaderboard. And okay. Supriya is still leading the chart. Raj second, Deepak third. Let's go to the next slide. Question number 5. Question number 5 comes on your screen now. What the output of this printf statement? Okay, so the correct answer is value error. No one has answered it. Everyone has answered YT. It's not YT because you can, look here. The step size is 0. So we cannot have step size as 0, right? So the correct answer is value error. The leaderboard remains same. There is no change. And let's go to the next question, second last question of the day. Here it comes on your screen. What happens when you run demo.launch in Gradio? It trains the model, it opens a web interface, it deploys to cloud, or it saves the file. Everyone has voted. The correct answer is it opens a web interface. Let's go to the leaderboard. Okay, Deepak is fastest. Deepak is first. Raj is second. Meghna is third. Supriya is fourth. Okay, last question of the day. All the best to everyone. Keep your focus razor sharp because this question will decide the winner. So here comes the last question. And it comes on your screen now. Your AI agent is failing to complete the task. Which layer is involved here? We have discussed that in last lecture, right? Okay, everyone had answered this. The correct answer is orchestration layer. Two people had answered it correctly. Let's go to the leaderboard and see who have answered it correctly. Supriya and mobile number 7831 had answered it correctly. Okay. Oh, Supriya went on top again and Supriya won today's Menti. Congrats, Supriya. Okay, 1 second. 1 second. Give me 1 minute. 1 second here. Let me share my screen again. So, okay, Supriya is first, Deepak is second, Raj is third. So, Supriya, Menti, Supriya, Deepak, and Raj. So, Supriya, you are the Menti Top Gun #1 gold medalist. Deepak is silver medalist, Menti Top Gun 2, and Raj is bronze medalist. And let me also 1 second. Today is 3rd of May. 3rd May 2026 Menti winner is Supriya. Cool. Okay. So we will take a quick 10 minutes break. Then we will see how do we use a streamlit instead of gradio. So there is a slight difference. And after that, we will go to the last workshop of today, which is something which you cannot miss. So yeah, we will meet up in 10 minutes then. Hey everyone, welcome back. Okay, so next thing which we are going to discuss is same orchestration logic but using Streamlit APIs. So what I will do here, I will create one more file and name it as streamlit demo.py file, and I will just copy paste the whole code in this file. And this thing I will remove because this is something which I will implement using the Streamlit APIs. Okay. And what else we have to do? So in here, instead of gradio import, I will use Streamlit import as st. And the rest of the rest logic will be same. It's just that the application layer I am modifying. So let's write down a few of the things that we can implement using Streamlit. So first of all, we will be setting up page config. So what is page config and everything, I will just let you know. Here, what we have to do, page title. Okay, page title, I am giving agentic AI demo. Page icon also I can write. Page icon I can write, and layout centered. So layout can be centered and wide. What is the difference? I will tell you in the demo once we will complete the coding. So it can be wide and centered. So this is the page set page config that we have done. Now the next thing is I will set up the title. So title I have written down st.title AI agent demo with the Streamlit. Then okay, we will go according. We will go as per what we have. So agentic AI demo should be the title. Agentic agentic AI demo is the title. Okay, so this is the title, agentic AI demo, right? Orchestration in action is subheader. So we will write down st.subheader. Subheader, and what's there in the subheader? Orchestration in action. So let's write it down. Orchestration in action. And next thing is this particular heading, right? Demonstrate prompting, tool routing, memory, and reflection. So that will go as st.write. So when I use st.write, I can give the description. So demonstrate prompting, tool routing, memory, and reflection. So this is taken care. Now I have to define an input box. So this will be my input box. So it will have, first thing will be the label. Second thing will be the placeholder text that you can see here. So let's write it down. So, and whatever user will write down and enter as a submit button, it will go in the variable query. And how it will go? First, we will create a text box. So text input is the variable, function. And I will write ask something. Okay. And placeholder, I will write down like this, try calculate. So this will become the placeholder. This part is placeholder, and ask something is the label of that text box. Okay. Now, okay, let's close this. Okay. Now what happens? Now the next logic is to basically to write down when the user will hit submit button. So submit button is something which appears by default on the Streamlit UI when you will launch it. So we'll write down if st.button is hit by user as submit button, then what we will be doing? So if there is a query, so means if let's say user is writing query and then submitting the button, and else part will basically take care of if user is just hitting submit button without query. So if query is there, query dot strip, I am stripping the white spaces, because sometimes what happens, user can put on 10 white space and then submit. So I'll not consider that as a query. I'll still consider that as an input, as a blank input. So in that case, output will be calculated or will be returned and will be calculated by agent. So as soon as the submit is entered or hit by the user, control will go in this block, and this particular block is something which will dynamically come, which will show agent output as the heading. Value, it will show whatever will be returned by the agent method as an agent function, and height of that will be 300. We can adjust this height to see the variable height of the output text box. And then warning, we are writing down, please enter a query before submitting. Okay. So this is the basic code, streamlit code that I have written down. And unlike gradio, so in gradio we were using demo.launch, right? So here we don't have to use any launch function. It's just like that. It will take care by itself. Now, how do we run this command? Okay, so now in order to run this command, so we will be using separate streamlit command. So gradio may we have used python -m normal python command, right, to run any python module. Streamlit may, in streamlit, what you will do, you will run streamlit command. So you'll type streamlit, then run, and the name of your file. So the name of your file is streamlit underscore demo, streamlit underscore demo, and with the extension, file extension, so .py file. So let's copy this and try to run this. It should launch a Streamlit application. You can see it has launched the Streamlit application. And if I will ask calculate what? 3 plus 90. If I'll submit, you can see it has given the output, the same output that we were seeing in gradio. And the agent output, this is 300 length that we have given, right? This can be anything. So if we will, let's say, change the height as 100, it will be a small block, and if we'll refresh it, sales data, if we'll write and submit, you can see the height is reduced to 100 units. So this is how we create the length. This is how we basically control the length of the output text box. And layout, you can see everything has been, every text, every UI element is centered on this page, right? Now, if I will do it as यहाँ पे layout, if I change it as wide, it will be occupied on the whole screen. You can see now, instead of centered, it has been occupied on the whole screen, right? And one more thing. So in page config, we have seen, right, page title, AI demo, page icon, right? Where are you seeing that? So this is the page config. You can see here on the tab AI demo, AI agent demo, and this icon, right? So set page config basically sets these things, and then set title had set up this part, and st.subheader had set it up this part, and st.write had set it up this part. So this is about the Streamlit APIs to quickly create the prototype and the application layer in agentic AI systems. Okay, I think, yeah, so with that, if you have any doubt, you can ask, or else we can quickly start our
So the difference between streamlit and gradio is that the interface.
Yes, interface is the difference, and yes, interface is one thing, and gradio is basically very, it is basically used for doing some basic stuff, quick prototyping. But if you want to build some AI application or AI chatbot, which includes the dashboard kind of functionality also, so for dashboard kind of functionalities, Streamlit is, preferred more than the gradio. So there are some, differences between gradio and Streamlit. But yeah, if you are going with a very basic thing, very minimal code, you can see, right, with gradio. Gradio code is this much only, right? Even Streamlit code is very less, but the main difference between Streamlit and Gradio is that Streamlit is basically used to do some dashboarding stuff also.
Okay.
Okay. Now last part. I hope this part will motivate you guys. Silence before growth. Okay. Let me add one page. And this is motivation workshop, which is known as silence before growth. And for that, before explaining anything, let me draw a quick graph. This is y-axis, this is x-axis. And this is the okay, 1 second. Okay. Okay. So this is x-axis, this is y-axis. So y-axis represent results. X-axis represents time. Okay. And this red straight line represents expected thing. Expected thing means what you think should happen. And actual thing is represented by this green curve. So this is actual thing. Actual thing represent what actually happens. Okay, so this workshop is actually happens. So this workshop is about explaining the things when someone is starting to learn new skill or when someone is taking up the new task, taking up new hobby, taking up a new course, learning new skill. So this will be applicable everywhere, and this is applicable to 100% of people learning new skills. Okay, now this part, this is basically this portion. This is uh, this part is known as valley of disappointment. Okay, and this particular part, this point where actual crosses the expected, this is known as point of breakthrough. Okay, now why I'm explaining this, I will come to that point in a while. Now what happens initially when you are started to learn a new skill or you are doing something very new? Let's say if you are started to learn piano, if you are started to learn, let's say, tennis, if you are started to learn, let's say, agentic AI or AI. So there is a phase which is known as valley of disappointment, and this is a phase in learning where you are putting effort but not seeing the results yet, or work is happening but results are not visible. So that is known as valley of disappointment, and it basically goes on for some time till the point of breakthrough. So this time t This can be different for different people. Sometimes for some people, some smart fellows, it can be 2 months. For some it will be 3 months. For some it will be 6 months. Now the whole idea is that 99% of people basically leaves within this valley of disappointment. They are going through this valley of disappointment, and let's say they have left their journey here, they have given up here. So at that particular point they will give up, and they will stop improving on that skill, and that's where the chapter closes. They will not be able to gain anything out of that situation or out of that learning. Now the beauty is that you should be knowing what value of disappointment is there, and this comes in everyone's everyone's life, in any area, any new area, or any new skill that they are acquiring. And the idea is to go through till point of breakthrough, because after the point of breakthrough you can see, right, this actual what actually happens surpasses your expectation, right? But before point of breakthrough you can see that expectation, this actual result is lying very, very below the actual expectation. So valley of disappointment is the phase where people will think, okay, there is a learning but no result is coming, confusion increases, motivation drops. There are a lot of things that will happen. But if you endure this particular valley of disappointment phase, and you surpass this point of breakthrough, then it's when the people will call it overnight success. But right, you are doing the hard work under the hood in the background. It's just that you have passed out the point of breakthrough, and that's when people are keep you calling about that particular success as an overnight success. That's when the things starts clicking automatically, improvement becomes visible, confidence increases, and there are various other things that happens. Now as part of this workshop I want to understand value of disappointment may the thoughts, your thoughts. What can be your thoughts? Let's say you are learning something, some new skill, and let's consider that people are in valley of disappointment phase. So what can be the negative thoughts that will come in that particular phase? So I want some volunteer from you guys. Anyone who wants to volunteer for this workshop? So this is a very, very, very interesting thing. Anyone who wants to volunteer this?
I can be.
Okay, Sunny, thank you. So Sunny ko 1 second, Sunny. So you are our workshop warrior. Okay, Sunny. Yeah. Think from everyone's perspective, and you can share the thoughts, the negative thoughts that people might get in this valley of disappointment phase. I will write down one line, and then you can probably start with the next. So the first thought that can come in the mind is, I am giving my best, but nothing is improving. That will be the first thought, right? What else?
Mhm. I'm not getting time to revise or study the lectures, or although I'm putting my effort,
Hmm.
I'm having a lot of confusion with that within the multiple concept.
I have a
Um,
lot of confusion
yeah.
about the things happening around me.
Mm,
Correct.
yeah.
What else?
What would be the outcome, whether I'll be utilizing this concept going forward? It's like, or it is like
What
just a
will be the future? What is that future holds for me if I keep on going? Something like that, right?
yeah, will I convert it into a like new opportunity like that?
Will I be able to turn the things around? Correct. What else? This is harder than I thought, right? This is harder than I thought.
Yeah.
What else?
Not able to do much practice.
Yeah, so that yeah, I'm giving my best, but nothing that will come
But
as part of that. Yeah.
Uh,
doing the right thing.
Doing.
am I
Right
doing
thing.
things?
Yeah, I mean, so that thought should be disappointment. So yeah, what will be that disappointing thought that will come? So we are talking about all the negative thoughts that will come in people mind when they are enduring this valley of disappointment. They are going through this valley of disappointment phase. The most negative thing that will come in people mind, and that's where people will leave, their struggle or their learning phase is, and which is very negative. Maybe this is not for me. Correct? People will think eventually when they are going through value of disappointment phase that maybe this is not for me, right? Let's take an example of MS Dhoni. As I said, right? So anyone who is at the top of any skill in this world have 100% gone through this value of disappointment phase. 100% of the people would have gone through. Let's take the example of Dhoni. He was working very hard, right? When he was about to get selected for Team India. In first four matches, he had scored some, very, very minimum runs, right? Just consider his mental state when he was when he has played his fourth ODI, and I think he had scored some, I don't know, 15 or 20 runs. And last four matches also, he in one of the match he got out on 0 run, right? Just imagine his thoughts on the night of fourth match where he had scored consecutive, he had faced consecutive failures. I am 100% sure this thought might have crossed his mind. Maybe this is not for me. Maybe I'm not, made for Team India. Maybe I'm not meant to play international cricket. This thought would have 100% crossed his mind. But the beauty about this value of disappointment phase is that you should know everyone has their coping mechanism. Person one has a different coping mechanism to go through this phase. Person two has different, coping mechanism to go through this phase. Every person has a different coping mechanism to go through this phase. Dhoni, after playing, fourth inning, he told in his interview that he thought that he was not sure whether he would be selected for the fifth ODI or not. He was not aware. I mean, he 99.99% he thought that he will not be selected for Team India in his entire life. But he kept his positivity as he I think he says, right, control the controllables. So he might have, came up with some coping mechanism. He went through this, value of disappointment phase gracefully. And the fifth ODI is his point of breakthrough, in which I think he had scored some 140 plus runs against Team Pakistan, right? So that was his point of breakthrough. Now, my question is that let's say if MS Dhoni would have given up in the first ODI from the failure from the first four ODIs, if he would have given up and he would have left cricket, would he be called as a failure or as a successful person? He would be definitely called as a failure. It's just that he refused to give up. He kept on going, enduring this valley of disappointment phase, and then suddenly point of breakthrough came in his fifth ODI match where he had scored 140 plus run, and everyone in the world came to know about Dhoni. So that is the point of breakthrough after valley of disappointment. So I understand every one of you, even including me, whenever we are learning new skill, we go through this valley of disappointment, and these are some of the negative thoughts which basically comes up in the mind. Now, again, uh, as part of these negative thoughts, confusion increases, motivation drops, you feel, depressed, you feel anxious, the process feels slow and boring, self-doubt starts, so you start losing self-confidence. It happens to me, it happens, to me many times. You may start feeling that I am not worthy. So you may, sometimes the self-confidence drop to such dangerously low level that you start, doubting your existence in this particular skill. Now let's talk about how to overcome these points. So why I want to bring this workshop is that because many of you are very, newcomer in AI world, and you are learning AI. And I am sure that many people are going through this valley of disappointment in this group, and many people might have started questioning themselves that maybe this is not for me, maybe this is harder than I thought. Now let's discuss on few of the points on how to overcome it. Okay, yeah, any inputs on those points, how to overcome these things or these negative thoughts, or how to overcome this phase value of disappointment phase gracefully?
I feel first we have to very much good with the basics. We need to do what,
Solidify
yeah.
solidify the basics about the uh, concerned skill. Very well.
Also, we also will be like we need to understand what would be the outcome, how we are going to convert this learning to
Hmm.
my final output, how it will benefit me in my career goal,
Hmm.
so that it motivates the person to
So clear your vision.
vision. Yeah.
Hmm. What else?
Do
I'll put
more.
one point. Focus on consistency and forget about perfection for now. Focus on consistency and not on perfection for now. Okay. Just be consistent. You just show up whenever it is required, right? Show up again and again. Don't worry about the perfection. Track small wins. Track small wins and reward yourself. So that reward yourself can be in any way, right? Let's say if you have if you have created some small goal, if you have achieved it, then reward yourself. Maybe go out on a outing or a short trip with your friends, or go out and watch some movie or treat yourself, something like that. What else?
I
Most.
feel to
Yeah.
to to learn something or to start something, people has to aware of the full life cycle of any of the new skill or any of the work what we are going to start.
Yeah.
For example, HDLC, so we know everything, so that they can plan in that way and they can learn.
Whole
So
journey about that skill.
yeah.
Correct. Right.
Yeah.
Then most important, trust the process. For example, let's say you are starting to learn a new skill and you are learning AI. So on the first day itself, don't be impatient and just think, okay, I'm learning AI. I should, on the first day itself, I should know everything about LangGraph. I should know everything about Crew AI. No, there is a process to reach that state. First is you have to solidify your Python concept. Then you have to understand how the AI evolved over the time, over last few decades. Then understand the basics of fundamentals of AI. Then understand the fundamental of ML and how you can, we can implement various use cases using Python. Then understand the concepts of deep learning, then understands the foundation of Gen AI, and then come to the agentic AI part. So this is a process. You have to trust the process before you reach your highest potential, right? And another important thing, apply what you learn. Very important. Means hands-on, as I told you, right? So whatever we are I think in the ML machine learning workshops and deep learning workshops, people sometimes were telling that these are some of the very complex things that we are understanding, right? So track that process, track that particular, progress. Start learning small. You just have to be consistent, not perfect, right? So you cannot write perfect code on the first day. You have to first, be consistent, and then you have to aim for the perfection as a next stage. So always do hands-on on of whatever skill you are learning. Always do practice of whatever skill you are learning. Practice or learn, both are the same thing.
Yeah, also like people has to avoid a bit going through multiple resources across the internet, that create a lot of confusion.
No, they can, yeah, they can go through various resources on internet. It's just that you have to be organized. So whatever you are going through, whatever information you are learning from all the resources, you have to filter out that information, and then you have to apply that on the organized deck, whatever you are learning in an organized manner. As I said, right, the organized way of learning the AI or organized way of fulfilling the AI journey starts from very basic, from learning Python, then from learning the foundation of AI, ML, something like that. So whatever you are learning should basically fit in any of those organized paths that you have created for your journey or for your skill. So you have to be organized. And very important, don't compare your journey with others. What happens sometimes, I'll take my example. So I used to participate in a lot of sport, and I used to, do a lot of stuff except the studying part. And I was always the last night hustler. I used to study last night. And some of the people, they used to study whole year, and they are always prepared to give exam. So when we used to discuss about the exam with those people, they used to tell, okay, we can give exam on today also because we are, always prepared. And that time we used to think, and we used to, get demotivated, that we used to think, okay, these people are already prepared for the exam, and we don't know anything about the subject, and we basically start studying 1 week before the exam, or 2 or 3 days before. So if I will start comparing my journey with others, it will not work out, right? So your journey is different from other people's journey. Your point of breakthrough may be little late, but yeah, that breakthrough will happen if you will endure this valley of disappointment. So that's the whole point. So don't compare your journey with others. And very important point, uh, accept this phase and accept this way. Okay, let's write down accept this phase. So you have to, first of all, accept this phase. You have to accept this phase. Okay, this phase is going on. I cannot do anything. I can do my best. What I can do, control the controllables. And expectation will be, you have to just keep giving, you have to keep pouring your hard work so that you reach the point of breakthrough. So this is how you can overcome. Now, point of breakthrough. What happens once you reach the point of breakthrough? Things starts clicking, right? Suddenly you will feel like, okay, things started clicking. So if you have learned some skill, you might have faced this. After some point, suddenly the things starts getting clicking automatically, and improvement becomes visible, right? Then, most importantly, confidence increases. You start gaining your confidence back, and the concepts, the tough concepts that you have learned earlier, or the tough skills, the sub skills that you have known, you have read about in past, start making sense now, right? Then you perform better without even trying, or without not trying, I would say, without struggling, basically. So you will start performing better without struggling, and others will start noticing your improvement. And whoever knows about your journey, your tough phase, they will not say anything. But who are not aware about your tough phase, they will call it as overnight success, right? That's how people will talk about people's success. But there is a lot of hard work. There is lot of endurance. There are a lot of coping mechanism that person has gone through, which they are not aware about it. So people will start noticing your improvement, and they may call it as a overnight success. And then motivation comes back strongly. So in valley of disappointment, what happens? You don't feel motivated. You might have questioned with yourself, right? I don't feel motivated to do things. I don't know how, what I can do, to bring back my motivation. I'm not motivated to do the things. That question usually comes when you are in valley of disappointment. Now, you have to replace the word motivation with discipline in the in that particular phase, value of disappointment. So you have to be just disciplined. It is clear that you will not feel motivated in value of disappointment. It is well known fact. You just have to keep going. You just have to endure this phase until you reach the point of breakthrough. After that, the motivation will come back strongly without you seeking for motivation. You will be motivated to work daily with full motivation, and your happy hormones will be, flooding within your body. So, that's what happens when you cross this point of breakthrough. So I wanted to discuss, this workshop with you because you should know that if you are feeling demotivated when you are learning AI related, concept, so you should know that this happens with 100% of the people who become successful. 100% of the successful people go through this phase. It's about your mindset. It's about your positive mindset, how you will, sail through towards this valley of disappointment. Because once you sail through this valley of disappointment and once you cross the point of breakthrough, things will start falling in place and things will become, in autopilot mode. It will, start happening in autopilot mode. So this is the whole intention of doing this workshop. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Cool. I think that's pretty much it for today's session. And next session, we will discuss about agentic AI product management. So we will go through some of the agentic AI project management stuff. Because as I told, right, you have to trust the process. You have to be very, solid with the base that you are learning. Because if, let's say, you will be entering into the agentic AI world, you should be knowing about, first of all, the foundation of agentic AI. Then you should also be knowing about how the system design, happens in the agentic AI. And we have discussed about agentic AI system design. And next thing is, how do you manage the product? Because, today or tomorrow, you will also, step into the shoes of product management. I mean, virtually or directly. So you should be knowing what happens as part of agentic AI product management. So we will cover that part. And then we'll start with the LangChain and, other more multi-orchestration framework. I know. So this has basically been stretched. So this agentic AI is basically stretched a little bit, but I wanted to make sure that I am giving you the top quality, teaching, so that you can stay motivated and you can switch, comfortably in the into the field of AI and agentic AI. Okay, thank you guys. Thanks for joining this session. We will meet in next session on next weekend. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.